Welcome to Defense Upcast, your trusted source for global defense news, military analysis, and strategic insights. American supersonic bombers, Indian airbases, Chinese borders just hours away. What you're witnessing isn't a drill. It's a seismic shift in Indo-Pacific power dynamics that has Beijing scrambling to respond. The B-1B Lancer, America's $200 million supersonic heavy bomber, has just touched down on Indian soil for unprecedented joint exercises. This isn't routine military cooperation. This is Washington and New Delhi sending a message that echoes from the Himalayas to the South China Sea. In the next 5 minutes, I'll reveal why this single deployment represents the most significant strategic chess move in Asian geopolitics this decade, how it fundamentally alters China's military calculus, and what this means for the balance of power in a region where 3 nuclear powers now operate in dangerously close proximity. Stay with me, because what's happening right now will define Indo-Pacific security for the next generation. Let's establish the facts. The B-1B Lancer isn't just another aircraft. It's a strategic weapon system that changed modern warfare. First deployed in 1986, the Lancer carries the largest conventional payload of any U.S. bomber, 75,000 pounds of precision-guided munitions. It flies at Mach 1.25, has a combat radius of 2,900 nautical miles, and can strike multiple targets across vast distances with pinpoint accuracy. When you see this aircraft, you're looking at America's conventional deterrence backbone. Now here's the context that matters. The B-1B's deployment to India comes through Exercise Tarkash, a bilateral air exercise between the U.S. Air Force and the Indian Air Force. This marks the first time B-1B bombers have operated from Indian territory, and the timing is anything but coincidental. Over the past 3 years, India and China have been locked in their most serious border confrontation since 1962. The Galwan Valley clash in 2020 killed dozens. Chinese and Indian troops remain eyeball-to-ball across the line of actual control. Infrastructure buildup on both sides continues at breakneck speed. Meanwhile, China has been expanding its presence across the Indo-Pacific, militarizing artificial islands in the South China Sea, increasing pressure on Taiwan, and deploying advanced bomber forces to bases within striking distance of the Indian Ocean. Enter the United States. Washington has been systematically deepening military ties with New Delhi through the Quad Alliance, alongside Japan and Australia, creating an interlocking network of partnerships designed to counterbalance Chinese military expansion. But here's what makes this B-1B deployment extraordinary. It represents a quantum leap in India-US military integration. These aren't just symbolic flybys. The exercises involve complex mission planning, intelligence sharing, mid-air refueling coordination, and integrated targeting, the kind of operational interoperability that only exists between the closest military allies. Think about the logistics. Alone, operating B-1Bs requires specialized ground support equipment, secure communications infrastructure, compatible weapon systems, and highly trained personnel. India providing this level of access signals a relationship that has evolved from partnership to strategic alignment. The Indian Air Force is simultaneously learning to operate alongside America's most advanced bomber platform, understanding its capabilities, its operational tempo, its integration with ISR assets. This is knowledge transfer at the highest level. So what does this actually mean? Let's break down the strategic implications. First, geographic calculus from Indian airbases. B-1B Lancers can reach virtually any Chinese military installation from Tibet to the South China Sea within hours. The People's Liberation Army now must defend a completely new axis of potential threat, forcing them to redistribute air defense assets and stretch their strategic coverage. Second, deterrence architecture. China's military planners built their entire Indo-Pacific strategy, assuming they could operate with impunity in certain zones. That assumption is now obsolete. The B-1B's presence creates persistent uncertainty. Beijing never knows when these bombers might be in theater, creating what military strategists call strategic ambiguity. Third, alliance signaling. This isn't just America projecting power, it's India demonstrating its willingness to host advanced U.S. military assets. That's a diplomatic earthquake. India maintained strategic autonomy for decades. This signals New Delhi has made a fundamental choice about which power it views as the greater threat. Fourth, regional reactions. Pakistan is watching nervously. Pacific nations are recalculating their hedging strategies. Australia, Japan, and South Korea see validation of their own U.S. security partnerships. But here's the ultimate impact. We're witnessing the construction of a new Cold War architecture in Asia, not through treaties and formal alliances, but through operational integration and capability sharing. The B-1B Lancer in India isn't just a military exercise. It's a statement of strategic intent. It's Washington and New Delhi declaring that the Indo-Pacific security architecture will be written by democracies, not dictated by Beijing's expansion. Isn't whether this changes the game, it's how China responds, and that response will define the next chapter of great power competition. If this analysis opened your eyes to the strategic shifts happening right now, hit that subscribe button.